Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, you ready?
Can y'all hear me? Good deal.
Mic check. All right. BUILD24, are you ready?
I don't think they heard you,
I
bro.
don't think so either, man.
BUILD24 EXP, are y'all ready? Woo! Let's go. I'm Cameron Michael.
I'm Andrew Savage.
And we're the founders of Great Feather Group. Yes, we rehearsed that. All right. So work this thing right here.
Yeah.
The next. All right. This is little Cam right here. I wish I could take you guys back this far, but I can't. I want to tell you my journey, but still have the same attitude for sure. So I'm gonna take you to 2013. This is when I first got my real estate license, and prior to that, I was working for my family business in the real estate, actually the insurance industry, and I was unhappy. I hated insurance, honestly, but for 5 years straight, I did it, and was taking over the family business. My grandpa kind of came to rescue me, so to speak. I dropped out of college, and he asked me if I wanted a job, so I took it. I ended up getting married, had my first kid, bought my first house, and by the age of 25, I had it figured out. I knew what I was going to do the rest of my life. But honestly, 2013 came around, and I wasn't super happy with the way things were going in my career. I wasn't happy where we lived. I was happy with my personal life, but I felt like there was just something bigger for me. So in 2013, my other side of my family business, they sold real estate. I decided to get my real estate license. I sold my first house, and I was hooked. That's me with my first sign with my beautiful bright blue shirt on, and first sign holding of my first under contract sign. That's me. I flew to New York and met Frederick Eklund, and I was just all in. It's super excited about real estate, and I knew then that was my passion. That's what I was super good at, and so roughly around 2015, I broke it to my grandfather that I had to. I decided to move to an area that was a growing area that I decided to pursue real estate in, and I moved my family there, and for 5 years straight, I sold real estate like no other. I was a top producer for 5 years straight, and I went there with a goal, and that was to be all in on real estate, and I didn't really have a goal after I met that goal. The goal was just to sell as much as I could. And I did that, and when I hit the crossroad, my 5 years in, this was roughly 2020 or coming up to 2020, I was burnt out. I'd sold all I could sell, and I was tired. I was looking for something next. I was roughly 32 years old, and I knew that I had to do something. I knew I had to scale my business. It was time to build it out so I'd have more time with my family, and yeah.
So how it started for me. About 9 years ago, I was 23 years old, and I was a 6-year college student at a 2-year college. Sounds crazy even saying that. I will say I did graduate, but during that time, I lacked purpose. While I was in college, I ended up starting a business, and within 2 years, I grew that business to grossing over $1 million. From the outside looking in, people would say I had it all. I had a nice house. I had a nice car. But on the inside, I felt empty. Once again, I lacked purpose. So while I was sitting at home one day, I was watching TV, and I came across a show that I'm sure you guys are familiar with, $1 Million Real Estate Agent. And it's so ironic because the average priced home in our area is $200,000. So it's nothing like that show. But I felt the call from God to become a realtor, and I answered that call. So within 2 years, I became the #1 agent at my boutique brokerage, and that's when I had all of the agents coming to me, even agents who were in it longer than me, coming and asking for advice. I was leading meetings, and at that time, I knew that it was time to scale.
All right, so I'm not sure what's going on with this thing. Let's see if we can get to the next slide here.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so me and this guy, we didn't even know each other at the time. We knew of each other because we were in the same market, but and we knew each other through social media. But we were both at the same crossroads, and we knew that we had to do something. We had to do something bigger to build out our business. And it was around that time that I was approached by the third person about EXP for the third time, but it was the first time that I actually listened. I think that it actually took someone that I knew and that I trusted, and that helped me get to where I was to begin with. I don't know, some of you may know who Lars Hedenberg is. He's a big international coach. He brought it to us, and I was already in the process of thinking about starting my own brokerage. I had to do something. I was looking for what was next, and I had already started with some moving pieces around to get to that point. When he brought this to me, and actually explained EXP to me, I knew that was the way to go. I knew that this was the time. It was time for us to think bigger. I didn't want to just be in our local market. I wanted to be even bigger than that. So that's when roughly I decided to reach out. I didn't have a plan. Honestly, I had all these ideas in my head, and but I knew EXP was great to offer. I knew that was the way I was going to go. So I contacted 5 people, and it was only 5 people on my list to begin with, and they were all local. I reached out to them, 4 of which are with EXP today. They all took an average of about 6 months to come over, and it took me about 9 or 10 times to contact them, I'd say on average. One I'm still working on. He's going to come, just hasn't done it yet. So one of the 5 of those people was someone that I met with a couple of times, and we meshed. We were a lot alike, but we were super different. But we really clicked when we met, and I'm sure you guys can probably guess who that one person of the 5 may be.
It was me. I'm gonna be honest. It took me about 7 months to come over, but I needed 2 things. I needed to make sure that this was going to be a right fit for me, and then 2, I needed to make sure that this was God's move for me. There's a famous quote that says, "If you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together." At this next point in my life, I knew that it was time to scale. So Cameron reached out to me about joining EXP. To be honest with you, I knew nothing about EXP. But what I did know is that if joining EXP meant that I got to partner with Cameron, who was a #1 agent in our area for 5 years, then I was all in.
So yeah, I appreciate that, man.
No problem, bro.
So our journey started. Finally, this guy come over, and I talked him into us building something together. 2 weeks after we started, we were on the flights. The bottom right photo, we were on our way to Scottsdale, Arizona. It was our first EXP event. We headed there, and we just started networking. We started asking questions. We were bugging people. We were just networking, meeting other people. We were making videos together. We're racing Lamborghinis in Nevada for some reason. I'm not sure. We were in Cabo. That's actually us in our first office, holding our first sign. I think you go next, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's
why you have a partner.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, being from a small city in the Deep South, there aren't many different styles of brokerages. You either have your older brokerages that has seasoned agents.
You picking on old people again, dude?
No. More experienced agents. You have predominantly black brokerages, or you have predominantly white brokerages. One thing that I told Cam is that because we're innovators, if we're going to start something, we need to start something that's going to be different. So we quickly formed a motto: it takes all kinds of people to sell to all kinds of people.
So sharing that same goal, we just wanted to make sure that we were going to build out the right thing. We wanted to take a lot of what we embodied. We came up with the name Gray Feather because it means a lot of the things that we stand behind. It's authenticity is the most important thing amongst other things, and we wanted to stay authentic. We wanted to bring on people that had the same mindset, that wanted to sell real estate at a high level, but also fit the groom. And we're a big melting pot. I mean, we have all kinds of walks of life in our office, and we all share the same thing. We all stay authentic. If they don't like it, they can kiss.
Oh, Cam, you promised me you're going to be good today.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Next slide.
Gotcha.
All right, so achievements. In less than 3 years, we've built 2 brick-and-mortar offices, one in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and one in Florence, South Carolina. And then we also grew our team to 40-plus agents.
50-plus.
It's hard to keep up, man. It's hard to keep up.
So let's talk numbers. I know we wanted to share you guys kind of like where we came from, because we're both from small areas in South Carolina. It's the first time we've even spoken in front of this many people all at once. And we used to talk about this. We used to come to these events, and we were like, man, we're going to be on stage one day. I can't believe we're already here. I feel like we just started. But
Thank you.
but yeah, it's been pretty awesome. So numbers-wise, we started roughly mid-2021. We're nearing total almost 1,500 closed deals with EXP Realty since we launched, which is insane, especially from our small town. We are the leader, which means number one, guys, if you don't already know, number one in the state of South Carolina in volume and in transactions. Thank you. We're pretty proud of that because we've got some big areas. Florence, I think our total population in Florence County is like 130,000 people. So just to give you some perspective. And our average price point's roughly 220,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so let's talk about revenue share. Who in here doesn't like revenue share? All right, I didn't think so. So revenue share, you know, when we started this, and again, guys, where we stand before you pretty humble here. This guy spent 25 years in college, and I dropped out. So if we can stand up here, then I think you all can. So a lot of people come up here and talk about revenue share, talk about production, talk about EXP. It's so much more than that. It has brought into our lives much more than we even thought that could come from it. We've started roughly, which is crazy to say this, and they're all successful and debt-free, 6 companies separate from EXP since we started Greyfeather in 2021. They all are surrounded by real estate, and they're all successful and are all fed. We're pretty much a one-stop shop at our office now. We've also bought and sold, flipped, and kept long-term properties with income, with revenue share income, with production income. That black boat right there, I bought that solely based off of the stock income that I've gotten from EXP, paid for cash.
So, what's next? If you guys were here yesterday, you got a chance to hear from the lovely Girls with Grit. They're our friends, and they're the reason why we're on the stage today. Thank you, guys. So looking at their motto, we decided to build out a virtual expansion. So that way we can offer our team to like-minded agents who may not be in our area. And then on top of that, because we've been through so many trials and tribulations on building teams, we feel like we kind of got a blueprint, and we want to be able to attract other teams to EXP.
Yep. So just to piggyback off that, attracting teams. I mean, I feel like we have run ourselves through the ringer, and we found our niche, and we know what we're good at, and that's exactly what we decided to build. And we brought in over 100 people to EXP just based off of production and bringing people to our brand. So it's time to share that knowledge and go for other teams and in other markets with other brokerages. So next, what is next?
Gmail.
So this is just a few things with us on our journey. They're actually, speaking of girls with grit, they're in that black yacht right there. It just like blocking. I'm sitting there trying to take a selfie, and they're aggravating me back there in the back. But and then right there, that's us holding that first sign that we got made. I mean, we're pretty proud of that. And this is our crazy team. Man, we've got a handful of craziness, but we love it. We're all super successful. And if you guys want to save here, I think we're getting close to running out of time. We wanted to share our story. We could have gone into more production. We could have talked about our structure of the team. If you guys will follow us on social media, I didn't put this in our slide, but if you will write down greyfeathergroup@gmail.com. If you're on a team, you run a team, you're looking to grow a team, if you're interested in our structure, we'll literally give you everything we have. We have 3 different tiers, actually two tiers that we're offering right now that we've offered for the past 3 years to attract seasoned agents and brand new agents. We're about to open up a 3rd tier to offer to people that want to work in between. It's always about sweetening the deal in the team, right? So this is the thing, it doesn't matter how good your team is. Your agents are ultimately at one point, sometime or another, if they're selling real estate at a high level, they're gonna spread their wings. They're gonna leave. That was the biggest thing I saw with EXP was I wanted to grow a team, but I didn't want a super revolving door. And we still have people with us that have been with us since the beginning of this. And The biggest thing that we've seen with EXP, we've had some people that have left all on a good note, mostly all on a good note.
Mostly.
Most of them have left and they've either started their own team, their premier status, which is something that we have in-house, is one of the other tiers that we offer on our team, or they've gone strictly EXP to sell on their own. The good thing is when they do decide, or if they do decide to go out on their own, the likelihood of them staying with EXP is very high. So pretty cool to be able to still get paid while they grow their career in real estate once they do leave. So gives us, and speaking of that, the broker owner of the company that I was with for 5 years and team leader was someone that actually came to EXP with me. I let him sponsor me to EXP, and that has just created most people when they leave brokerages, they don't really create or keep a relationship with that broker or that team leader that they had previous. I've been able to do that with mine, and that's the gift that we get with EXP amongst many other gifts that you can utilize with this company. So, and again, if you guys didn't get that email because it wasn't on there, the email is grayfeathergroup@gmail.com. If you're interested in knowing, send us anything, just wanting info on our team structure. We're going to hold a seminar on Zoom to go over our structure, share with you anything you want to know about. You can ask us any questions roughly a month from now. That leads me to just one last question, the same question that we had when we come up here. Are you ready? Are you ready to take the next step? Are you ready to take what you get from the speakers here and implement it and grow your business?
So, BUILD24, are you ready?
That was still kind of weak, Andrew.
A little bit.
I think that was weak. Actually, if y'all can do us a favor and give us one more time, just a little bit louder, because that was kind of weak.
Flip it.
Let me flip it the right way. I'm not one of these old realtors he was picking on earlier. I heard that. All right, EXP, BUILD24. Are you ready?
Click it, bro.
Thanks, guys.